Out. Who knows?
That'd be awesome.
Okay. Hi, it's the Acapellist and Diane. We're here to talk to you more about what is our book? What was the book we're reviewing called, Diane?
Secrets to Profound Self-Love.
Secrets to Profound Self-Love. It's good. And we talked about chapter 1 last week. This week, a little different menu. I'm here with my bride, Corolla, and she's at a horse show in Red Deer, the reigning Alberta Horse Show. And so we're doing it from the barn because my generator failed in my trailer, so I have no electricity in my trailer to keep things running. So here we are in the barn. This will be exciting. And chapter 2 is what we're talking about. All right. So Diane, you got any opening comments?
Well, why don't you? I'll ask you a question. Why don't you give us a little summary of the introduction and chapter 1?
Oh, that's a good idea. Okay, let me just hang on one second. Let me just go back just to the headings of those two. I just actually reviewed chapter 2 today. Okay, so yes, yeah. You know what? I want to just read one part of this that I just love because when I read, I just this is me. This is everybody. Here, hang on. Let me just find that. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this is the part when I read that. Before I teach you about how to heal, you need to understand what healing is. You need to understand what it is that needs healing. You need to understand what wounds are. And then it goes on to say here about, your wounds started when you were young, when others were unloving, the rejection, the abuse, the neglect, the abandonment, the engulfment. You might have physical wounds from what is done to you, but the deeper wounds are not physical. Your wounds deepened when your unlovingness towards you was too much for your little body and soul to manage. When the loneliness, heartache, heartbreak, grief, and helplessness over others' unlovingness was too big to manage, and you had to find ways to avoid the pain. So you learn to move out of your body and into your head to avoid the pain. And you learn to avoid and numb your feelings with sugar, junk food, nicotine, alcohol, drugs, TV, pornography, or other addictions. Or you learn to be very good giving yourself up, or to be very bad getting into trouble, or to get angry and blaming to resist. All to avoid the pain that you could not manage. Man, I think that's like everybody. And it's just the degree of what you are addicted to, whether it's sugar or it's opioids. I'm trying to get away from this pain that is trapped in my body, and I'm going to use something to kind of get out of it. That's kind of what do you think of that? Does that make sense to you?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And for me, that whole, just to kind of frame it that way, and then to go on to here's the path we got to get to kind of find those things, uncover those things, and love yourself fully and completely, and forgive yourself for the things that we have all made mistakes, and forgive those that have actually harmed you, right? They were not good humans at that time for whatever reason, but that was their problem, not yours. Like, you can certainly just kind of, I don't know for sure, but I think you have to be able to somehow say, it was there. Yes, they were wrong, but I'm just going to leave them alone, send them love, and hope they get healthy, kind of a thing, or hope maybe they are healthy now and they weren't at the time. Hey, there you are.
Hi.
Hi. Are you with your horse?
Yeah, I was just chatting with a fellow show person, and here, do you want to show the horse?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Are you bringing the horse out?
Well, I don't really have a whole video.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm tethered with electrical cords because batteries. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's Sugar, the most important man in her life.
Yeah, we're in a slinky.
Nice. So what will Sugar do? What kind of show? What jumping?
We're reining. Yeah, we're
Describe
reining.
a reining pattern.
So reining is a pattern class, and you do spins where the horse spins really fast.
Okay.
And you circle and both ways, change leads, and then sliding stops where the horse stops and their hind end
yes.
stays in the ground.
You come really fast and then it slides.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
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 Okay.
They're like huge athletes, right? Like that whole slide and stop thing. My goodness, that's amazing. And the spins. I tried it once at like, whatever, half the speed she does, and I just about fell off and puked, and it was just like, oh, that's horrible. So yeah, I don't know how she does it. So
So you're the rider? You ride?
Yeah, I'm the rider. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. I wish I was there.
Yeah, I do too. That'd be fun to see you here. Yeah, you have to come
Yeah.
one time. You guys live how far from Edmonton?
We're in Nordic.
Nordic.
Okay. Yeah, how far is that from Edmonton?
It's kind of like sort of midway between Calgary and Edmonton, I guess, if you could, but it's more this way, right?
Oh. Well, then you can come watch if you want.
Yeah, you should let me know. We're only 2 hours, I think, from Red Deer. I don't think
Yeah,
we're
I
far.
think I'm showing tomorrow night sometime, or late afternoon, early evening,
Or-
and I'm showing again Saturday morning, first thing, 8:00.
I always do them live. I do Facebook lives of her shows. So if you want to watch a Facebook live her show,
Will you send me the link?
I
Can
don't
you
know
do
how
that?
to send you. I can send you an email saying this is what time I'm going to go live, or text. I'll send you a text saying I'm going live now.
Okay, well, how do I get onto you I just do a search for you on Facebook?
Yeah, yes. I think
Okay.
so. I think if you're subscribed to me, I think it says Ellen Friesen is going live. I think you get a notification. Unless you blocked me, Di. Have you blocked me?
No,
All right.
no, I have no blocky.
So, did you hear our first part of our conversation?
not really,
Okay,
no.
so I sort of summarized the first part of the book and read that part about like the things that we all suffer that kind of devalue us or diminish us in some way. Corolla had a beautiful insight from a new person she's been listening
I've been
to
listening.
about shame. Talk about it.
So I've been listening to a guy, and I know Alan always talks about shame, and shame never spoke to me as a trauma victim, and I don't know if it does to you, but shame, I think, you don't really feel shame. Right?
Oh, sorry.
And so anyway, he talks about that shame is the feeling you have when you've been felt devalued. So that makes so much more sense to me, right? Like if I think of all the times that I had trauma, I didn't feel valuable, right? Like the trauma made you feel like you weren't very valuable. Doesn't that make sense? Oh, we don't hear you now.
No, I think she's doing intention because she's got some background thing coming.
My phone was ringing. I had to.
Okay.
Yes.
So and then the other thing he talks about is just remembering everybody needs love. And so whenever you like ask yourself, what did I need most or what do I need most is love. And when you see other people, always what they need most is love too, right? And I know recently I saw somebody, I've seen a couple times where I felt like somebody wasn't really nice to somebody or something. I thought, obviously in the past they didn't feel valued by that person, right? Or loved by that person. So that it seems to me suddenly that becomes the crux of the whole thing.
Yeah.
It seems that easy.
Well, I think this book that we're looking at really starts from the foundation that likely everyone has wounds. Everyone has experienced adversity in some way or another, and it plays itself out in our lives, and we often don't understand how it plays out. And motion that you're talking about, shame, is probably one of the symptoms of that. And I'm thinking that in this book, she sets the stage by talking about healing and what is that and why do we need to do that, which Ellen did a great job of introducing that. And then I think the first chapter says, if we're going to go on this journey for healing, the first thing we need to do is say, I think I have a problem and I'd like it to be different. I don't want to be like this anymore. I'd like to kind of be my best self. So that's the first chapter.
Yeah.
And then I think now the second chapter that we're talking about tonight, what I understood from it is all about intention.
Exactly. That's what I do too.
Yeah. And it's about, I recognize I need to do something different. I recognize I potentially might have a problem. I recognize that some of these things that are uncomfortable for me might be symptoms that I'd like to heal so that it would be different. And so now I'm willing, that's chapter 1. And chapter 2 is, okay, I'm going to be open to the things that happen for me that will take me on this journey. That's the second chapter.
Yeah.
And I really like the correlation between this chapter and Mike Dooley's work. Do you know Mike Dooley's work?
I think you've actually mentioned Mike Dooley before. Remind me again, what was Mike Dooley's work again?
He talks about intentions. He talks about manifestations. Just hold on one second.
Sure.
I'm back.
All right. Infinite possibilities. Nice.
The Art of Living Your Dreams. And he's
Nice.
also done this one.
Playing the Matrix.
A program for living deliberately and creating consciously.
Yes. Now,
So what he talks about really aligns with this chapter too.
yes.
Because what he says is we have belief systems embedded in our bodies and we don't challenge them. We just say, well, that's the way it is. That's truth. But he said it might be a limiting belief because when we were growing up, we may have been influenced or wounded or traumatized in some way, cured a truth that we hung on to say, this is true. We agreed to it. And that becomes our belief system. And that was guiding decisions and actions. So what he says is that it's a process of really looking at your belief system and unpacking it and discovering that it's a limiting belief. And often, he says, those limiting beliefs are triggered for you, signaled to you through emotion.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes really good sense. I love that.
And so when I read this chapter, it reminded me of all the work that Mike Dooley does.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what Mike Dooley's reference there, just what I've seen that, is that it's also not framed in, don't self-regard as, oh, you're broken, there's something wrong with you. Self-regard as, I am the best version of myself that I could be, given, what my circumstance, what's happened, what I've learned, what I've known. I know I can be a better version tomorrow with something new that I can learn, right? So what is it I can learn today that will help me be my next best version tomorrow? And then tomorrow, what's the next best version kind of a thing? And the awareness of what, your self-awareness is a big part of where you need to learn, right? I think that's how it works. So.
And that was the big thing that this guy that was talking about, everybody needs love, is to have self-compassion, right? Because that's how you heal. That's how he felt he healed himself from his trauma, was to learn self-compassion about the things that had happened to him. And once he realized he felt valued, then he could kind of look at every instance and create compassion for himself. Well, that wasn't about what you, as you were saying, beliefs, what you believed it to be about, right?
Yeah. Okay, one more second. I have one more thing to show you.
All right.
Oh, Cruel, you're going to like this one.
Okay. Oh, push it that. Yeah.
Lovability.
Yeah.
Knowing how to
I've
love.
I've listened to this guy.
Robert Holden, you have?
I've
Yeah.
definitely
Good, eh?
listened. Yeah.
Nice.
I have listened to him for sure.
So that's the message that he talks about, what you're just saying.
Is he the guy that does the mirroring? Robert Holden?
Mirroring?
Yeah.
Louise Hay.
Yeah.
She does the mirror. She
Yeah,
carries
he
the
does
mirror
mirroring.
right
Yeah.
here, and then she
Yeah.
pulls it out and she says, "Well, hi."
But that's with him, right? Robert Holden does that as well.
Yeah,
Does he know?
because Robert Holden was a student of Louise Hay,
Okay. Yeah.
and
So,
she
yeah,
taught him
that's-
that.
So I've listened to the two of them speak about mirroring and such. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what that reminds me of? Do you know who Michael Bernard Beckwith is? The Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith?
No.
Anyways, he's very charismatic, very, very, I think he's amazing. Love him. So anyways, when he goes in at lots of his sermons, he says, look to the person next to you, hold their hand, look into them and say, I've never seen
such an amazing human as you.
Mhm.
Your beauty astounds me.
You need to be sincere when you say that.
Yeah.
Basically, that was good. That was real.
Okay.
So, anyways, you have this thing where you have this exchange, and then touch, hug, and then and it's basically say, I recognize the beauty in you. I recognize God in you. I recognize the divinity in you. That kind of a thing, right? So,
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful. Yeah, it's very nice. Cool.
Lovely.
Yes. So, did I tell you? I got to share one more thing with you, Diane. Did you and I have a conversation about sugar and caffeine in me?
No.
Oh, can I tell you this story?
Yes.
Whew. Sister Serendipity paid me a visit. I think it's 19 days now or 20. 19. I think it's 20 days now. 20 days ago, I got really, really sick, in which I expelled everything from my system, purged everything from my system. And I was 2 days of that where I didn't eat anything and couldn't hold anything down. And as I'm deciding, how I'm going to break my fast, I started thinking about, gee, what would be good to reintroduce into my body now? And Sister Serendipity gave me this insight. You haven't had sugar or caffeine for 2 days. Why don't you give that a little bit of time and see what that's like if you continue that path? And then also the insight that sugar and caffeine are really interchangeable stimulants. I might have a coffee that gives me a boost, and when I crash from that, sugar could kind of bump me up again, right? And then when that crashes, then I could use caffeine. So sugar, caffeine are interchangeable. So if I quit both at the same time, it might be more conducive to making it work. So anyways, 20 days now, no sugar, no caffeine. And what I have noted is that my energy is very, very level.
10 minutes following the paid warm-ups for maintenance, and we'll reopen again for riding all night until 6:45 a.m., or it will be maintained again until the paid warm-ups start at 8 a.m.
Perfect. Everybody knows that
The
now.
show itself starts at 12 noon, and the draws are now posted.
Draws are posted too. Good news. All right. So anyways, my energy level way flatter. And then, after I noticed, not only flatter, but it bumped up and is flatter. And also things that might evoke emotions in you, like something you might get frustrated with or angry with or that kind of thing, seems to mute those responses. Like if it was, that was an 8 out of 10 reaction to that, it's like a 2 out of 10 kind of a thing. So, yeah. So anyways, this is my so far 20 days in and loving it. I think I should have done this 10 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm drinking
Not me.
No. And I'm drinking way more water now too, because somehow I think I've acquired what my natural thirst is. And I'm want to drink a lot of water. So
Wow.
yeah. So I'm drinking scads of water now too. Yeah.
Wow. How sleeping? Do you sleep better?
Well, except for getting up to pee all the time. Other than that, because I'm drinking so much water.
That's why I asked the question.
Well, here's the problem. I might probably sing now afterwards. As I'm singing, I'm going to drink a whole whack of water and then try to go to bed with a gallon of water in me. Yeah, I'll be up a few times for that. So, yeah.
Jeepers.
Yes. But Corolla likes the interruptions when I get out of the bed, out of the trailer, and,
Yeah.
manhandle her as getting it out of the bed.
It's a little bit like mountain climbing in our horse trailer.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. Yeah. Yes. So back to the topic at hand.
Great. So that's the second chapter. Next chapter, we're talking about exploring self.
Exploring self. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So are there any other insights from this chapter that we should cover off here? Or are you saying we've done it? We've wrapped her up?
I think we've done a really good job talking about where a belief comes from, making that agreement that becomes your truth. And then you walk around with that belief system that's the way that's true. That's the way it should be. Right?
Yes. And when did you decide on that truth? When you were, not a fully formed adult kind of thing. Like as a little person, it often is when you made those decisions, right?
Right.
Or as a vulnerable person, right? Or, a person who kind of wasn't in themselves as of yet, kind of a thing.
Right.
So,
And the work that really helped me understand that was Don Miguel on the 4 Agreements. Have you read that?
Mhm. Yeah. Some of
I
it.
love that book. Love that book. It's one of my favorite books.
Yes.
So he talks about that. He says we come into the world without a belief system, pure essence, absolutely pure. And then through the adult influence and interactions that we have, we start to make these agreements that become our belief system, that become our truths.
Yeah.
Which makes total sense, right?
Oh, it
Totally
does.
does, yeah.
Yeah, it really does.
If you're raised by a parent that continually tells you, you're not funny.
Yeah.
No, stop that. You're not funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Then
Yeah.
all of a sudden you say, oh, I'm not funny. So now I believe that, and that's true. And as an adult, you'll say, oh, I'm not very funny.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
When
just
you,
a simple example, right?
I think it was actually from his book. He was talking about interviewing like third graders, right? And every third grader was the best at everything. Who's the best? Whatever. All hands go up. Well, who's the best? All hands go up. Like they're the best at everything, right? And then it's afterwards that they get, oh, you're not the best. This person got an A, you got a C, and blah blah blah. And yeah, so
I mean, I have a really good example. When I was in grade 6, I mean, I loved to sing. I used to sing all the time. And I wanted to learn to play the piano songs that I could sing to. And I was in the choir, and I was singing my little heart out in the choir. And I was in a school that the principal was really attached to the music festivals and to music. And he was an accomplished musician. His kids were really high performers. And he had every grade 6 in the school mandatory in the choir. So when you hit grade 6, you had to be in the choir. And at lunchtime, you'd go to the gym. He'd have you on the risers, and then we would be preparing to go to festival. And sometimes we were on TV at Christmas time.
Woo.
Anyway, one practice, he stopped the practice and he pointed to me and he said, sing. And I said, all by myself? And he said, yes, sing. So I started to sing, and he said, out.
Oh my gosh.
no way.
Out. And I had
That's
to
horrendous.
all by myself, all the way across the gym with the whole school looking at me, and he kicked me out because I couldn't sing.
Oh my. Wow.
And I
Like,
couldn't participate in any of this stuff. And to this day, I would believe in my heart that I cannot sing.
Yeah.
And if I
Yeah.
try to sing, people laugh.
That is, it's an example of somebody, an adult with a position of power, who doesn't recognize their impact they can have on a little person. That's horrendous. Corolla also.
He didn't value, like, that's again that guy, right? You were very devalued there, right? Like,
Talk about your presentation.
oh yeah, when I was in grade 9, we lived in a coal mining town in Kohler, like, so they used to do coal mining there. So we were all supposed to do a report on coal mining. So I'd gone around and asked some of the people some of the history, and so I kind of did my own thing and did a thing based on what people in the area told me. And I started saying it, and the guy, he basically up one side of me, down the other. That is not a fiction. That is not a true to life story. And you didn't research that. And basically annihilated my self-confidence. And it took me another 30 years to ever want to talk. Like I was a 4-H leader. I would talk to the kids and I would turn red and stutter, and my heart was beating 1,000 miles, like from that one incident. Right. So I think yours was worse actually, but
yeah,
it's
that's
horrible.
like, that's brutal. My
Yeah.
goodness. Yeah. Wow.
It doesn't matter. It impacts you very much where you feel so belittled and so undervalued and in front of so many other people, right?
Yeah.
That's the hard part.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
hard to recover from. Yeah.
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 He didn't do it. He was mean to me.
No
Yeah.
kidding. So, and you, like, I think everybody, this is about singing, is your comment. So I think everybody, as a little person, loves to sing. I don't think I've ever seen a little kid
Actually,
not
we had-
sing.
You were here, but I mean, these 2 young kids, but there was some kids singing here for
Yeah.
a long time.
No, I saw them over there. Yeah,
Yeah.
there were a bunch. And I think it's like, until somebody says, oh, wait a minute, you.
It's kinda like drawing.
No. Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
same thing, right? And like, if it was more nurturing and develop
Yeah.
your talent and less judgmental and more, all right, that's how you express this song, or that's how you express this butterfly when you're
Yeah.
drawing it. Hallelujah, that's how you do
Because
it.
that's what they say about drawing too, that everybody has a very good imagination about drawing and stuff until about grade 2. And then often, they'll be saying draw a flower and the kid will start drawing and they're like, no, You got to make a stem. You got to make the, and so they tell them how to draw rather than just let them draw what they want, right? So a
So
lot
that-
of kids lose any desire to draw
Yeah.
at about grade 2.
So did Picasso? Did he just not go to school or what?
Maybe not back then.
Get up,
He was-
Picasso!
he was-
Get out!
He was rebellious. Yeah. He's like, oh yeah, I bet you I can draw and I can make it not look like what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah. So there's a hidden message there. I could be a Lady Gaga or something.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. There
Okay,
you go.
so when are you going to start singing?
I don't know. I can't
You know
sing.
what?
You and I could do private lessons together because I don't sing either.
Okay.
Can
I need to finish this book.
Yes. Can I tell you now that I'm really, really healthy. Like my body's working better than it's ever worked in my life. And it's basically because of singing, because that is my exercise now. That's all I do. I stand and sing. Well, I stand for all the Zooms and stuff. I do that. But that's my only form of exercise now is just singing. And it is like shaping my body, giving me good energy. It's amazing. And it's singing. And it's so easy to do. It's not like, oh man, I got to go and sing. It's like, mostly it's Crow that says, would you shut up? Like, always singing you. So, yeah. So
He always says I don't like his singing. I said, no, it's just that most people get to listen to it for short periods here and there. I listen to it all the time. So
it's very true. Yes.
Awesome.
It's more appreciative if you hear things.
I
change.
understand.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Especially there's one song that she said, oh, I think you've ruined that song for me. It's like,
No, I didn't say ruined. I said I'm singing it all the time.
Yeah, it's
because
like-
you sing it all the
yeah,
time.
exactly. It's just like, I love this song. I don't know why it speaks to me so much, but it's like, it's so sincere. It's like, there's a light, a certain kind of light, never shone on me. I want my life to be here with you, baby. You don't know what it's like. You don't know what it's like to love somebody the way I love you. Anyways, I love singing that song. I love how I feel and the vibration in my body when I'm singing that song. I can get vibration in my toes. It's amazing.
Awesome.
Okay, next week, chapter
Next
3. Thank you, Di. Always a pleasure hanging out with you.
Fun. Good luck, Corolla. I'll be cheering
Thank
for
you.
you.
Thank you.
I'll
I'll
look.
send you a text when I'm put on Facebook, so
Yeah,
maybe you
there's
see it.
also
I'll
probably a
watch.
link to Raining Alberta.
Oh yeah, probably. That's right. Raining Alberta has a link too.
Yeah,
Okay.
on Facebook. Yeah.
Bye bye.